Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Abu Sumaya, also known as Talib Al-Hakim, and I'm here today to begin these vlogs explaining, as well as future videos and past videos that I've done already, showing you my journey as a student of knowledge on my road to Al-Azhar University in Egypt, inshallah ta'ala, because that's my overall goal. So right now I'm in the beginning stages. I have been to Egypt, where I recently just came from about a week ago, studying the Arabic language at a markaz there in Nasser City called Markaz Fajr. And alhamdulillah, that experience overall was such a great experience. Just all the help they provided me with helping me find an apartment and accommodations, and just welcoming me into that community and into that school, and I really benefited. And all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything, man. And it's truly from the tawfiq of Allah ta'ala. And at points of times I'm just lost for words with it, but as you can see, I am back home in America. This quick glimpse, you may can't see it well, that is the beginning of my library. I actually came back with like so many books that it actually had costed me like a nice amount just to get that baggage onto the plane, and separating the weight and everything, but it was well worth it. And mostly all the books I have are in Arabic. It's I use it as a motivation to get to where I want to be and even farther. And these books just keep me on my game. And I've seen other libraries online, but I also had the pleasure to sit with Ustad Dawood, who you all may know. He has his own YouTube channel as well, and he does a lot on there from teaching classes. He's also a student at Azhar, but he does a lot with teaching classes and everything. You can find him on YouTube at Dawood Burke. You can find him on YouTube, and you will see that his channel is amazing. His library was amazing. It actually inspired me. And yeah, he's on his way. He's there, and he's going. And yeah, that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him. And I thank him and all the brothers there in Misr who helped me along my few months of being on that journey and embraced me, and just helped me with everything, man. That was truly a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my work on this trip, on this journey, which I call my YouTube channel, I named it The Road to Azhar. I'll give you inside and the ins and outs of going to study in Egypt, as well as the joys that come with it, and the not so many joys. There are things that, coming from a country such as America, that I believe that we do have to get used to. You have to get more so accustomed to, and it all starts with the mindset. It's the mentality behind it and your approach to living a certain way, to just embracing a certain culture and embracing its people. And that is one thing that we definitely have to look forward to, going abroad, studying, not just in Egypt, whether it's the Gambia, whether it's South Africa, whether it's Turkey, whether it's Saudi. We have to get used to just knowing that things won't be the same, and we can't have the same expectations there abroad as we have at home. And so first and foremost, it's the mentality. But going abroad and studying, when you're surrounded by other students of knowledge, I can say that it's a blessing, and you see the like-mindedness that everyone has, and everyone was so open. I'm speaking more so from a perspective of being a brother and dealing with brothers, but I can still tell from the distance of watching sisters and how they interact with one another, that they also have that love, and they also have like that bond to where they stick with you. They stick with each other. They encourage each other, and they're also there to learn. And so I started at Markaz Fajr. I started at, I believe, Tamhidi Aleph. Yes, and then I went to Tamhidi Ba, and before I left, I was on Mustawa Al-Awwal. And so I recognized as well that my progress, I was actually getting better. I actually learned a lot. I didn't study more so Nahu. I studied just more so conversational Arabic. I made it to Al-Arabiya Bayna Yaday, book 1. And I'm actually about to complete book 1, inshallah ta'ala. And it teaches you a lot. So one of the main things that I actually got from it is that you learn all of these conversational pieces. Amongst learning these conversational pieces, you learn a lot of vocabulary. You learn some sentence structure, a bit of nahu. You learn some sentence structure. You learn a lot of verbs as well. And then you learn how to conjugate those verbs. And you also learn in the midst of how to form a sentence. Though those sentences may be small, if you keep up with the vocabulary, you keep up with the verbs and everything, you will be able to mix and match sentences. And that's what I began doing myself. As you can see, I have my my whiteboards in the back, dry erase boards. And so I try to write out to keep my writing strong, as well as my conversation. I write out maybe something about myself, or maybe something that I plan to do or I am doing, and I just write it out there, and I go over it a bit. I check it to make sure I got it correct, or to see how I form the sentences, or if I use the verb correctly. And so that is something that anyone could do once they get into the flow of learning the Lughatul Arabiya. And yeah, this is actually the book here. This little book here, not so small, but this is actually the first book on Arabiya Bayna Yaday. I don't know if you can see it. I know the light is kind of bright, but alhamdulillah. Yeah, so we are on the last lesson. I will complete that. So at the same time, I also had a private teacher. The private teacher taught from a different course, but just the benefit, what I noticed from having a private teacher was outside of the markets, I was still communicating. We worked on and we did communicating skills and, me just using the language. So I noticed that when I went back into the markets, like when I had testing and it was Shafawiyya, that I was able to really communicate. And I spoke clearly, and that was one of the main things about me that I was really worried about was my pronunciation of the Arabic language. But having a private teacher helped me and benefited that, as well as studying the Quran al-Kareem, which I was advised to definitely pair, and I advise that for everyone. If you're going to study the Arabic language, also study the Quran, memorize Quran. There's a blessing in it. And it will also help you with your pronunciation of the language if you're being taught correctly. That's another subject I'll get into later when it comes to just finding the right Quran school, or if you want to go with a private teacher, finding the right teacher for yourself. Every teacher isn't the teacher for just anyone and everyone. So you more so, before you go out and spend a lot of money, even though that money may be in Egyptian pounds, which compared to other currencies like coming from the US or coming from Britain or anything, it may be much less, but it all adds up. So that is something I really want to tell brothers to be wary of. Like, don't just always go, and it may seem like, it's just $6, and you're just constantly giving and giving and giving, and you're not benefiting. So always seek to, whether it's a private teacher for Quran, a private teacher for Arabic, always seek to get a free trial lesson, because you want to know what's for you. You want to know if that teacher is for you, and you don't really have that time to waste. Like me, I was only there 3 months. I feel like I did waste a lot of time because of the hiccups that I had, but that was my first time there, and it was a learning process. And inshallah ta'ala, once I return, it'll just get better. So I arrived to Egypt on the 29th of September. I was greeted by a brother from Marquez Fadrick, who assisted with picking me up from the airport, assisted with helping me get registered into the school, helping me get into the apartment and all of that, which was definitely a blessing. So if you plan on going abroad, see if your Marquez or your school provides these accommodations. Don't just go in blind, but definitely just see if they provide these accommodations, add it into your budget, and stand firmly on it, because things do happen. Maybe the brother may get caught in traffic. Maybe your brother may forget about you. You know, if you're not communicating as often, you may get forgotten about. And you definitely want to make sure you stay on top of your game. Thing two, when you going through the airport, like I did that day, I did get EGP, but I came with, matter of fact, I came with U.S. currency, and I came with a lot of singles, which I don't know why. They do not accept single dollar bills in Egypt. I mean, they would take them, but they have to be in very good condition. They don't prefer it. They don't prefer it. So if you do bring currency from your own country, have the money in bigger and larger bills, and have it in very good currency, very good currency. But for the most part, you wouldn't need much. They have plenty of ATMs for you to go around and pull money off of your card in EGP, and so that's a blessing. Or you can get EGP in the airport as well, because you will need it. Like, they have these helpers that will come around and help you with your luggage, brothers. You can have it to pay them, or once you walk outside, if you don't have an accommodation pickup for a pickup, you can get an Uber. Also, you can get a taxi, or there's another kind of ride too, with like these vans. I forgot what it's called. Not the tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuks do not come that far, and be careful with the tuk-tuks. The tuk-tuks are a whole nother ball game. So after leaving the airport, getting the visa on arrival, which is good for 30 days, you definitely want to make sure that you keep up with your visa. Once the 30 days expire, or you'll get into that expiration date, you do get a 10-day grace period. I believe it was a 10-day grace period from your expiration date. But you always want to have your paperwork in order. You know, you do not want to be caught into a situation where you encounter police or authorities, and your passport is expired, your visa is expired, etc. I was blessed to have a lawyer. A brother put me with a lawyer, and I was blessed to have that situation and go real smooth once that time came. Alhamdulillah. And so, amongst me getting into the Marquez, be aware of when the school actually starts. That was a hiccup that I had myself. I'm not speaking for other brothers. Other brothers may know, you know, the weekday there starts on a Saturday, runs through a Wednesday at Marquez Fajr. And so I remember getting there, but when I got there and I applied for the school and we registered, the school actually didn't start till Sunday. You know, because they had like a break period before the new registration for the next month. So the class started on Sunday. And so, you know, I thought the class went from Sunday to Thursday. I showed up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I came Thursday, there was no school. I'm like, okay, it was a bit weird. So I figured Saturday wasn't school. I came back Sunday again. All the time, I missed a day. Now, attendance is important, because if you miss a day, it'll really set you back. You have been missed an intricate part of the levels that you may really that you really need, because you need it all, especially if you're a beginner. You need it all. And so, you know, it took me to go back and have to, you know, hurry up and write and get called back up. But alhamdulillah, I was able to do so, and I passed all my levels with like flying colors, as we say. I had no problems. You know, not to toot my own horn. Alhamdulillah, it was a blessing. You know, you have to just focus, lock in, and really just grind it out and want it. And so from there, I also had the Quran school. Now with the Quran school I went to, it was there were a lot of kids there, so the environment kind of mattered. But the Quran teachers, they were good. They know Quran. Another thing, just because teachers know Quran doesn't mean that they can teach you other areas and other aspects of the deen. Just because someone is good with Quran, don't expect them to know fiqh. You know, and I'm not really one to go in and questioning the minhaj of someone's upon, and, you know, their aqidah, etc. I'm just here to learn Quran al-Kareem. I'm here to learn the Arabic language. I really wasn't looking forward to trying to get caught up in those types of conversations. And so, you go to Quran school, you find a teacher that's for you. As I was advised by a brother, he was telling me, he said that you have some teachers who wouldn't let you make it past the Basmalah. Like, you have to get that down packed and correct. And you have some teachers who will just pass you through. And that's where I felt like I kind of got stuck at. I was at a place to where it was just learn these ayats, come back the next day, and it'll be times where I didn't even have those ayats down pat. Like I wasn't strong with them, and it'll still just be up onto the next, and it was just passing me through to where you end up forgetting previous Quran. So now you move on to a new surah, and you've forgotten maybe the surah that you did a few days ago. So you're thinking like, oh man, now I'm here, but I can't recall Surah to whatever. Like now I'm on Surah to Naba. I don't recall Surah to Balad. And so, that hurts when you have someone that's just pushing you through. And so you have to find a teacher who knows that, you struggle with, you may struggle with your memory, your pronunciation, and your understanding. So you really want to have a teacher that wants to, that could really help you with your struggle and help you strengthen that. Because coming from the West, our education isn't more so focused on memorization. It's focused on critical thinking and the likes. So now here I am at my age, 33 years old, 32 at the time, or 33 years old, and I'm trying to memorize everything, and it comes down to, oh man, it becomes kind of tiring, and it becomes a struggle. And so you have to begin to understand that you need a teacher who knows how to teach you. Those brothers over abroad, they excel at memorizing. They've been doing it their whole lives. I remember sitting in Quran school with 8-year-olds, and I'm hearing them recite, and it's just flowing. And that's one of the things that they do tell you. Just keep repeating the same ayat until it just begins to roll off of your tongue. You may start off slow, but keep repeating. Then when it begins to roll off your tongue, you repeat it X amount of times. So what I did myself was that I stuck with the school. What I did for myself, which benefited me, was that I used what I believe it was called the Mauritanian way of memorizing, which is to where you repeat an ayat, several ayat 500 times, 250 times at the least. So I would repeat one ayat 250 times, and it stuck. And I see that method worked for myself. And then once I moved on to the next ayah, another 250 times, and then combined those two, and I did it 33 times, and I kept going like that. And so I see that really worked for me. It may be different for other brothers. Some brothers can't sit there and recite one ayah 250, 500 times, so you have to find as well as what works for you outside of the Quran school, as well as when you go into the Quran school, as well as when you get the teacher or private Quran teacher, just how you need to be taught and what will benefit you on your journey. Anything else? Apartments. I was staying in Madinatul Nasr, which is a more established city. It's been there a while, and the rent, because of the immigration that's been coming in from other countries, the rent in that area has risen quite a lot. That has actually caused some brothers and families that's been there a while to kind of move on to the outskirts where the rent is cheaper. And so a furnished apartment, I was paying myself $500 to $100 a month for a fully furnished apartment. But it had some problems. Like when I first got there, the apartment was ant infested, and yes, the ants there do bite. So that was like a total. That was like, it was not good. Once you feel something on, all the time, you're just thinking that it's just ants. But alhamdulillah, the brothers did come, they sprayed, and they got rid of the ant problem. But you want to make sure that these apartments are clean. And you get what you pay for. I mean, if I'm paying $500 and I'm seeing other apartments in the area for $500 that's furnished better than mine, that Like, I didn't even have curtains over my windows, and that's something that I had let the brother know. Like, you know, when he asked me before I left, you know, he was like, yeah, you actually left the apartment clean. I know it was cleaner. You left it cleaner than what I gave it to you. Alhamdulillah. Great brother. I had no problem with that. But I did advise him, like, yeah, this apartment needs curtains. People value their privacy a lot. And you can see like that is a thing with the Muslims being abroad. You see that people value their privacies and their family's privacy. So I'm like, yeah, the apartment needs curtains. You know, it could have been furnished better. Definitely could have been furnished a lot better for the price that they were charging. I mean, yeah, for the price that they were charging compared to other apartments in the area for that price. I could have got something a lot nicer. But that was me staying by myself. Unfortunately, I feel like me staying alone, I kind of set myself back as well on my path of learning the Arabic language. And that if I would have roomed with brothers, it would have helped strengthen my Arabic language. And also build, you know, bonds and relationships abroad as well, which I still did anyways. But just to room with brothers, you have to know what you're going into. I mean, you won't fully know, but you have to know what you want to go into. So you have to put it out there that, yeah, you know, you want to be somewhere where brothers are studying, brothers are learning for the most part. That's some of everyone, so it shouldn't be hard. And go into an environment where you can really benefit as well, where you can each benefit one another. So you should have a map to where X amount of hours of the day, Arabic is being used. For there should always be a time to where brothers go out and about, you know, sit at the cafe. Don't spend your whole day at the cafe. Or go to cafes and, you know, go horseback riding, go to the water park. There's plenty of things to do. There's, you know, go play football, soccer. And, you know, just enjoy that time and that camaraderie and have that and build that brotherhood and be that support system for one another. Because some brothers are there without their families like me. I was there by myself, no family, no wife, you know, and so at times it could kind of get to you. Plus I was living alone. So, you know, it could kind of get to you. You know, you're just there alone, etc. As far as safety, in my opinion, Egypt was very safe. I've walked through neighborhoods myself. Like, I've literally, for brothers who know, I've literally walked from, let me see, from like my area by Mahalawi, the market. I walked from there, that area, to Masjid Nur Muhammadi. And I literally walked there, walked back. You know, and I walked through other neighborhoods that I've been through. And so for the most part, I never felt threatened. I never felt like any danger. One thing that I said about Egypt is that I was able to tell the level of safety there. When you literally go to the dukans, the stores, and they literally have merchandise outside the store, like chips and waters and freezers. Like, these are outside the store while the clerk is on the inside. It just gives you an idea of the level of trust of the people. In America, we would never see places like this where a nice amount of the merchandise is sitting outside the store where the clerk is inside and can't even see it. Some had cameras, some didn't, but you wouldn't see that here in America, because people would definitely end up taking something or taking all of it. So it shows you a level of trust that the people have. It just shows you gives you an idea of what the society is like, as well as, you know, children being out and about at all times of the night, just having fun, laughter, playing. And that's something you wouldn't see in America. I wouldn't see in America. I don't think no one sees that in America, to be honest with you, where you have children outside 11 o'clock at night, running around, having fun, just enjoying themselves. Like, there's no level of concern if your child's going to come up missing or anything of the nature. So that was another thing that just showed me that the safety and the trustworthiness of those people in the society. And that was a blessing just to be a part of that. You know, I remember going into the cafe, Happiness Cafe. A big shout out to those brothers. They showed me a lot of love. I ate a lot of waffles with Nutella mouse, Nutella and bananas, and Adeni Shea. What else? And like, I tried like plenty of different sweets from there. And so those brothers definitely, like, you know, it was times where I wouldn't have it. I can just take it and bring it back later, or, you know, alhamdulillah. But they definitely embraced me. I actually just spoke with the brother Saeed, who works in there, not to a few hours ago. Alhamdulillah, I haven't forgot about you, Akhi. So that was a blessing, just being embraced by other people. You know, the area where I was very diverse. A lot of brothers were from Uzbekistan, a lot of brothers from Chechnya, a lot of brothers from Somalia, Sudan, Kenya, some brothers from Kenya, Australia, the Netherlands, you know, America, and alhamdulillah, you know, even China. So Malaysia as well. A lot of Malaysian brothers and sisters there too. Especially when you go around Al-Azhar, you see that. But you know, the diversity there just shows that we are one ummah, and just the brotherhood, the love, it was definitely there, and how easy it was to practice the deen. Like, I literally had 2 masajids across the street from me. I had another one around the corner. I had another one around another corner, probably like a block or 2 up, and it was just like hearing the adhan for Fajr, for Dhuhr, for Asr, for Maghrib, for Isha. You know, it was just a beautiful feeling. I definitely miss it, because it used to wake me up at times, and like, it's beautiful to wake up to such a sound. And so yeah, I definitely miss that. Since I've been in America, I haven't heard the adhan not one time, I don't think so. It's only been a week, but alhamdulillah. But I don't even live near a masjid here. I have to get it in my car and drive, and so alhamdulillah. But yeah, so my advice to even myself and other aspiring students of knowledge is to just get on the path and go. Just start and embrace the journey. It's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be hard, as long as you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you stay firm upon the sunnah of His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And yeah, if you need any information, there's also an Egypt support group. You can send your numbers in the comments, and I'll ask for the admin to put you in the group, and you can get a lot more information. So whatever you feel I haven't touched on in this video or future videos, just feel free to ask in the group. And for the most part, anything that brothers really want to know, we've been able to find and figure out. And I definitely appreciate the opportunity, and may this video have been informational to someone, even to myself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and see you in future videos. This is your brother Abu Sumaya. This is my journey learning the Arabic language, other sciences, in hopes to reach my overall goal to become a student at the illustrious Jamiatul Azhar, inshallah ta'ala. And this is the road to Azhar.